Welcome into Decision Day for our Jacksonville Jaguars franchise. In Week 18, we travel to our in-division rival, Indianapolis Colts, and whoever walks away victorious today will be headed to the playoffs. The other will be headed to the couch to watch their rival continue play. Now, the crazy thing about this game is neither one of these teams have been great this year. The Colts are about as average as you can be. Meanwhile, our Jags are really good in a couple categories, below average in the others. And this, while being the second matchup of the season, is our first time playing against the Colts this year. They played in Week 5 prior to the firing of the former head coach in Doug Pederson, and us coming in Week 8 to face the Packers. Now, the good news is, it looks like the CPU favors us as we won that game 31-23. It was a good battle between these two quarterbacks. Lawrence with a 96.5 QBR, Richardson only a 69.1. But both found the end zone several times. Turnovers were an issue. Etienne ran well, Taylor ran well, and Anthony Richardson also ran pretty well. One more touchdown. In fact, I don't think there was a thing on offense that didn't work, as so many receivers racked up catches and yards. But defensively, no one really stood out. There were a few TFLs and only a couple sacks. Though when you look at what the Colts have done the remainder of the year, EJ Speed and Franklin have racked up all the tackles, both over 100. TFLs, Grover Stewart at 16 to force Buckner at 8. And then sack-wise, Buckner has picked up 12.5 and Kwity Paye with 7. And they wrap it up with a lot of turnovers coming here. 4 interceptions for Speed and 4 more for Kenny Moore, plus a good handful for another few players. Who I am really worried about is Josh Downs, who's already at 1,100 receiving yards and 16 touchdowns. Outside of Downs, they do look the way of Michael Pittman Jr. He averages a first down a catch, about 60 yards a game, but he only has 4 touchdowns. Outside of these two receivers, they really don't look anyone else's way that often. It is going to be Downs, Pittman, a good mix of Jonathan Taylor and Richardson, both passing and running. But if the Jags want to continue their season, they better come ready to play, as Coach Boston has them ready. We are underway. Duvernay set to return this one down the middle as he nearly found a lane, dropped at the 31. It'll be Trevor Lawrence and the offense heading out here to get this game rolling. And rolling is exactly what this offense needs to do. Run through Lawrence and Etienne. As they hand it off play 1, he picks up 3. Coach Boston's plan today is to attack essentially their top players. Buckner, Grover Stewart, and the linebackers who have racked up all the sacks. Try to get the blocks to the next level as Etienne busts off a first down. We saw the offensive line struggle in their holding calls last week in the pass pro. Trying to get rid of that in this one, focusing in on what has worked best, and that is the running game. Number 1 in the league, as another big one for Etienne. 3 carries, 30 yards. And he's been able to get this done behind a pretty weak offensive line. But they're down at the 38. And it's play action this time, downfield, and Kirk gets the catch down in front of Kenny Moore. You kind of wonder, though, if he could have taken that one around the edge and found a touchdown, perhaps. He takes a safe play, saves himself, and a 1st and 10 at the 14. As they go Etienne, Kwity Paye slows him down. It'll be just a gain of 2. Though Etienne shaken up following that run, he heads to the sideline. That could be a big blow to what Coach Boston wants to do here with the Jags. Tank Bigsby checks in. He goes right side, tries to put the hit in, and they call him down inches short of the goal line. Nearly the touchdown strike there. They'll line up with a heavy set to follow then. Going to the left-hand side, and Bigsby has it this time. The running back polishes it off, and hopefully Running back 1 will be back in this game. We'll look for an update on ETN, but for now, we take the lead early doors. And against the 11th ranked run defense, a statement clearly made. But now it's time to see Richardson and Taylor hit the field. This offense of the Colts is who I am more worried about. Considering what we saw last week against the Titans, Richardson, he takes the carry, upended by Campbell. Goes as a gain of 7, already chopping out the very big body frame of Richardson. Taylor takes it the next play, and he gets the first. Now, I would love for this one to be old school style football, a lot of ground and pound. Though the Colts have had a lot more success passing the ball this year, Richardson keeps it again. They've ran read option, handoff down the middle, and then read option. So both sides making their game plan pretty clear early on in this one. Colts are into plus side at the 45. They get slight motion, and they bump out the blitzer, and Oluwakin goes as a first down for Taylor. With that being the handoff down the middle, if trend is to continue, this should be another read option. Or they will actually go with a pass. A little bit behind, but making the adjustment is Thomas, and he picks up the first down. Both offenses moving with ease to open up this game. As they're at the 23, defense sliding that front. Richardson, under pressure, rolls. He finds Taylor, makes one miss, and picks up a gain of 13. Cisco gets the tackle back from injury last week. But will we see a big play made by him? Only time will tell. As they hand this one off, Taylor looked like they were setting up that read option. Defense stands tall, and it's their first play where they've limited gains here from the Colts. It's 2nd and 10 at the 10, though about an inch prior to the goal line, they could get the fresh set, but it's picked off by Walker. He's weaving. It's him and a lineman. He will get the corner, though here comes 87. He dives, misses, and Downs chases him down. Does his best DK impression on Budda Baker, but Walker gets the pick and nearly takes it 100 yards. I believe the grand tally around 87-90 on that. And Etienne is back out there for the Jaguars offense. He takes the carry, a big block again, 79. Fortner nearly sent him to the end zone, but instead down a few inches shy, about half a yard away. Goal line v. goal line. Lawrence over the top of Fortner. It's a 2-score lead for the Jags. They capitalize off the interception from Trayvon Walker. Well, that's just how quickly these games can flip on their head. It was looking like Colts were going to go down, tie this game up. Now down 2 possessions. Can Richardson get them back down the field? Well, they start with a nice pass across the middle to Pittman Jr. And it's been the play of these safeties that have been a little bit iffy. Not as much Cisco, more so on the opposite side in Johnson. Pressure, trying to get back there. Walker, perfect contain, drags him down with a loss of 3. And that's 2 big plays for him in that first quarter. We end said quarter 14-0 heading into the second. And for the Colts, they just need to not overlook or overthink any of this. It should be a 7-7 game, just a slight mistake from the young quarterback, Anna Richardson, throwing that pick. And he throws another. Jones with an athletic play. That ball a little bit higher. It is a touchdown. Instead, the rookie, he gets another pick. I believe that gives him 3 on the season. And the offense can take over at the 34. I form 2 tight ends to the right-hand side. They go ETN. He's trying to find that left lane that was open. Powers down the middle for 8. However, Walker Little is a little bit shaken up here. No pun intended. And that is another player that heads to the sideline here for the Jaguars. In the meantime, we'll have one of the backup linemen come in. He was actually a 3rd string. Fortner starting at center is the main backup. Flipping this one to the outside, Evan Ingram. He's also trying to recover from a little bit of shaken upness last week. He did have a massive touchdown before the halftime point of that game. Gets us a first down here with a spread look. Kirk to the left-hand side, 3 to the right-hand side, going back out to Ingram and off his fingertips. Pass was a little bit behind him, but if it was in front, likelihood of a pick very much increases. He has to hold on to that. Etienne takes the carry down the middle and will pick up 4. Now, the best play in here for the Jaguars would be to build a larger lead and get some of these guys off the field to recover before any sort of playoff appearances. But they got to find a first down here first on 3rd. Downfield, Christian Kirk secures that grab. With some of the erratic play from the receivers, I will take those secure grabs. Play action here, Etienne, rolling. And eventually checks this one down. He finds Brenton Strange for a gain of 5. Looked like he was waiting to have Christian Kirk break open, just never happened. 2nd and 5. They go with the end around, finding that cutback lane and picking up a couple blocks. Gabe Davis with a little stiff arm and down to the 16. We've seen Thomas run that play a couple times. He was out last week, back here in the middle slot on the right-hand side. 1st and 10. Hand this one off to Etienne, who bounces it to the outside. He's got the speed, and he's got 6 more points. Jacksonville open up a 21-0 lead here on the Colts on decision day. And with how they came out and played last week against the Titans, this is a little bit of a surprise. Colts, now they need to start thinking a little bit harder about how they've been playing. Richardson with a pair of bad throws, and that time just a little bit too far. A case of overcorrection. Last drive, he had that play underthrown, picked off by Jones. That time he overthrows it, and no one could get a hand on it. They hand it off to Taylor to try to settle things up, and he picks up 2. But a chance for the defense to get off the field here, not with a turnover, just a quick 3 and out. Colts need 8 here, and Richardson scrambles by the diving Devin Lloyd and chopped out again by Campbell. That's already 2 kneecap shots from the corner. Richardson, though, shakes it off. He's not feeling it. 1st and 10. They're up to the 47. Going back to the run, this time opposite side of Campbell, cutting back towards the middle, and this time he could use his strength to pick up an extra 2. But it seems like Richardson kind of had along the same thinking as Coach Boston when Lawrence was struggling. Just start to run it, catch your mojo. Then you can start to toss that rock as hopping over but tripping on the tackle coming in from Johnson. I'm sure Johnson very much appreciates that, as his tackling has largely been under question during his starts this season. Pass across the middle and finding Pittman Jr. Bad angle from Aluakon, and it's a first down to the 23. We were worried so much about Downs coming into this game, but so far he's been held catchless thanks a little bit to the play of the quarterback. And under pressure, Hamilton meets him, as well as, I believe, Gibson. Always fun to see a rotation player coming out there and making him play. In fact, that time it was 2 rotation players and sends us inside the 2-minute warning. That leaves the Colts needing 17 on 2nd down as they go across the middle. Pittman Jr. another catch. Quick tackle comes in, limits it to a gain of 6. 3rd and 11. They need to convert here. Looking to pass the ball, or in fact use the pass to open things up, and another kneecap shot on Richardson. Though it's an offensive lineman that is shaken up here for the Colts, and he will exit the field. That looks like Smith. Perhaps he's just feeling some of the pain of Richardson's knees as he's taken several low hits. 4th and 1, they throw and dropped by the slant god himself in Michael Thomas. Jaguars with a minute 19 will take over. Though it's back at the 14, they start with a spread empty look. Single high safety. Not exactly pressed downfield. Lawrence tosses this one up, and it's caught. Gabe Davis. He had a really good season prior to Coach Boston coming in. He kind of got lost in the mix. But it looks like today they're trying to get him back involved. Lawrence has them down to the 39, inside 40 seconds left. They are going back down the field, Davis. Ball comes up a little bit short, and Davis does well enough to keep Blackman away from it. It'll be an incomplete pass, 2nd and 10 at that 39. Going with the halfback screen, get out to ETN. Takes it down the middle and picks up the first down. First timeout called coming in from Coach Boston. But it's good to see the Jaguars showing ability to do various things here on offense. That's something they have lacked, and they need that for the postseason, as Ingram couldn't catch up to it. But a safe place to place that ball from Lawrence. I appreciate that. As they go back out to Ingram, and it's caught by the defender, but it's out of bounds. Lawrence can catch himself a little bit lucky there. Lives to fight another down. 3rd and 10. Hard count. They get someone to jump. Need the first down here, and they get it to Christian Kirk. Well, with that penalty, it will stop the clock. We can decline. But Boston will call that second timeout after that penalty just to let his guys catch their breath. They got 15 seconds looking for the end zone. Lawrence tosses it to the right-hand side. Christian Kirk weaves, and he gets out of bounds at the 5. Looked like he was trying to find the corner, just never quite opened up. It is 2nd and 1. Still have that timeout in their back pocket. And throws it. Davis shy of the end zone by half an inch. If he fell backwards, he probably would have made it in. Instead, he just went straight down. Goal line v. goal line. And Lawrence again plows through with Fortner leading the way. It will be 28-0 at halftime. A dominating performance by our Jacksonville Jaguars. As we've said it before, we will say it again on decision day. You win this game, you go to the playoffs. You lose this game, you got to watch one of your rivals take your spot. As we look around the league here, not much happening as we are playing far earlier than anyone else. Atlanta, they do win against the Panthers. But as we look to get our second half underway, it will be the Colts out on offense, and they are desperate for a touchdown drive. They start back at the 27, hand it off to 28, who slips a tackle and kept those legs moving. He picks up 7. While they have gone to the running game, it's looked good in this one, but down 28-0. How much can you run? Probably not all too often. As Richardson, he trips over, and Hamilton picks up a second sack. Probably one of the easiest sacks Hamilton's going to get in his career. Richardson very much should have outran him. Mason Smith nearly jumps for a second time, and Oluwakin breaks it up with his face mask. He missed it with his hands. It could have been another pick. But instead, it'll be a punt. And you could already start to smell those lazy boy recliners warming up here for the Colts. We take over at the 26. ETN takes the carry, bounces it to the outside. He will pick up 3. Now, he did get a little bit banged up, honestly, the last few games. So we'll see how long Coach Boston keeps him out there. As he hands it off down the middle. Nice juke and up to the 45. He surpassed 1,000 rushing yards last week, so there really isn't any big milestone we need to force. But it looks like they are giving him his carries. Flag comes down on the stretch. We saw quite a few of those last week. This one comes in on Cam Robinson and will push us back to a 1st and 19. Now Tank Bigsby checks in at running back. He goes to the left-hand side, trucks through the arm tackle, and another flag comes down. It's a second holding. Though that time it's from the opposite side of the line. It was Evan Ingram, so 1st and 29. 2 receivers to the left, Davis to the right. Lawrence rolling, waiting, heaves it downfield. Christian Kirk, and it gets picked off. It's kind of an arm punt, if you will. But perhaps that might be the spark this Colts team has been desperate for since the second drive of the game. Now for Lawrence, that throw definitely was not necessary, but he took a shot. Didn't pan out. Sometimes you can do that when you're up 28-0, as Taylor couldn't keep his feet. And now Oluwakin a little bit shaken up. Looks like he was holding towards that right shoulder. He will head to the tunnel. That is not great news here for this defense, as one of the linebackers, backup linebackers, was already out this game with a practice injury. And now they go Taylor down the middle attacking where Oluokun just left. He picks up a nice gain. Will it be enough to see them get back in this down 28-0? We will find out. As for now, the nickel, Edmonds stepping in to help out with the missing Oluokun, and he just dove away from breaking that ball up. It's plays like that which got him benched in favor of Johnson out at safety despite his struggles as well. 1st and 10, Colts down to the 25. Looking to pass the ball, and a quick dump off goes for a gain of 3. But of course, with that injury to Oluokun, we're going to need to see a whole lot more here from our 33 in Devin Lloyd. He's a young linebacker, but has shown a lot of promise. 2nd and 7, Richardson still looking to pass that ball as Downs gets blown up. Honestly, no idea who laid that hit. It might have been Edmonds, but he just clocked him. 3rd and 4, passing under pressure and getting the first down to Uzomah. Colts did find themselves down here earlier in the game. Walker then got that about 90-yard pick, and Downs drops it. Should have been a touchdown, must have heard the footsteps of Ringo. He is, of course, a much larger corner than that receiver, but did that play a factor? Who quite knows? 2nd and 10. They go trips to the right-hand side, 1v1 to the left. Walker shakes, throws to the outside. Uzomah, 1st and goal at the 3. Trying to knock this one in and get on the scoreboard, blow up that goose egg. They will look to throw, and to the outside, going back to their tight end. He maybe gets back to the line. Well, that throw came in timely due to the blitz here from the Jags. As they go to Taylor, he picks up 2. But that will be a 3rd and goal. Taylor a little bit slow to get up following that run, but he will come out here for that 3rd and goal. They look to throw the ball, and knocked away Cisco. With this game on the lines, their season on the lines, they are staying out here on 4th down. And they go with a read option. Hamilton having the game of his season. That is 3 sacks and a TFL, and Uzomah heads to the locker room afterwards. Another blow there for the Colts. And hopefully these injuries aren't big. As Bixby has a cutback lane, he can't hit it. Barrett saves the day for the Colts. It would have been a tremendous opportunity to see if he has some breakaway speed. Just won't be this opportunity. RPO swinging it out to Evan Ingram. A little bit more space out there. He picks up 4. But that does leave us needing 5 as we head to the 4th quarter. It was a 0 across the scoreboard there in that 3rd quarter, 28-0. And while the 0 from one side good, 0 from the other side not so much. 3rd and 5, and swinging it to the outside, getting the block. Davis does not get the first down. In fact, it's not a very favorable spot either. They say 4th and 2. It will be a punt. Where the Jags defense keeps points off the board and the offense takes a little bit of time off the clock. Colts back out here at the 45. Quick throw in to the turf. In fact, it was so low, Campbell didn't even try to get the interception. He just let it bounce off of his toe. Quick throw to the flat, and picking up a nice gain, Woods. He's coming into the injury of Uzomah, but he does come up a little bit short. It is 3rd and 2. Jags bring the blitz, and getting the first down is Downs. They ran that play a couple times the last drive. It was dropped or knocked away. They finally hook up that time. 1st and 10, just a 4-man sent, and a quick dump off. Thomas holds on to it. Colts trying to find a little something here to take into the offseason with a spread empty look. Richardson waiting, he's under pressure, and tag team sack from the edge rushers. Hines Allen got there first. Walker helps clean it up. But it brings up yet another 3rd and long here. They need 8. And taking his time, Richardson slips one, picks up a block from Woods, shakes another tackle, and takes about 3 Jaguar defenders to bring him down. But now Fries is injured. They are already missing Smith, who went to the locker room earlier. Or perhaps he just wants to go ahead and find his own lazy boy, as it will be the backups coming in here to try to finish this game off. And Walker picks up another sack. And Armstead now shaken up. Looked like he was holding his ribs area. A lot of guys headed to the locker room here in week 18. And as it stands, we are headed to the playoffs, and it might be missing a few players. 2nd and 16 with a dump off. Michael Thomas, he picks up a nice gain, leaving 3rd and 5. Richardson, though, he changes things up here, makes it tight on the right. Taylor goes to the left, keeping the bunch where it is. Play action, and too low again. Just because his last name is Downs doesn't mean that he wants the ball down low. 4th and 5. Can Richardson find any of his receivers here? As he's under pressure, ball pops out. Hamilton was there. He might have forced that fumble. It's Gibson who jumps on it. Jaguars take over. It's been a dominant defensive game. Offense has looked at least good in the first half, doing enough here in the second. I'm sure Coach Boston just wants to run this one out as he's trying, but this offensive line just keeps holding. So while it was a good run to get us going from Tank, we're going to be backed up 1st and 20, and ETN checks in here. He's not supposed to be out on the field. We told him to sit on the bench, but he says, give me one more carry. He bursts to the outside, slips a tackle, and steps out at the 26. Now, one thing we missed on a prior play there was actually Robinson left the field. He had some cramps, so we got a backup in at left tackle. We'll see what he can do. As Tank, he's trying to find the edge, but he cannot outrun 97. Latu brings him down. No gain. 3rd and 10. With a hard count, and it looks like Brenton Strange moved out at tight end. Not exactly what we're looking for here. With a spread look here, and then faking it one way, going the opposite way, Christian Kirk, he picks up some blocks, but the tackle comes in by Franklin, and if he wasn't there, that might have been the first down to seal this one. But as it stands, it's another stop by the Colts defense. That is something that has improved from the second half defense, very much so. It's the offense that still has not found the end zone. As they find their receiver here, can't tell who that is, but it was a great show of hands in tight coverage. 1st down at the 43. Richardson still looking to air that ball out as he finds Downs again, just really on slants today. They did try a couple deep balls to him, but Richardson couldn't hit. So it's 2nd and 1. More slants. And chucking it downfield, double coverage, tipped away by Campbell. But with a 3rd and 1 still remaining, can they get the first down? Thrown it to the left and tipped away. That looked like good coverage from Cisco, but they're going to get him arriving early. Not sure I agree with that call, but it's the call nonetheless. So 1st and 10. They get a fresh set of downs, about 2.5 minutes left in this game, and not getting the big hit on downs. Or at least if they tried, he absorbed it. But he does pick up the first down. 1st and 10 now at the 29. Inside 2-minute warning. Richardson dancing around and throws low for Woods. He definitely seems frazzled back there every time he drops back. 2nd and 10. Bunch to the right-hand side, one to the left. They try to go with the slants again. Richardson trying to buy time. He throws it away. Maybe 2 quarters ago, he would have took that ball for a nice little trip downfield himself. Or maybe he would have just head to the sidelines and let Flacco come out here to play a few. Drop by Michael Pittman Jr. That brings up a 4th and 10 here and might be our final play of this game. Richardson looking to go downfield, and it's picked off by Johnson. A nice little stamper to this one as he cannot find a cutback lane. But it was a dominant first half from both sides of our ball. Defensively, they carried on in the second half, and we kept that goose egg from the first, 28-0. And we picked off Richardson time and time again. They were not able to do much of anything with any sort of consistency. Lawrence finished throwing 12 of 17, 149 yards, no touchdowns. He did have an interception, but Lawrence did have 2 rushing touchdowns. And defensively, Jerry Jones got after it. 10 total tackles. Hamilton, 3 TFLs, 1.5 sacks. Trayvon Walker, 3 TFLs, 2.5 sacks, plus the pick. And when push came to shove, the team put together the game they needed, and they sent themselves to the playoffs. But who are we facing? And it'll be the Los Angeles Chargers, who went 11-6 in the regular season, and they ended up sneaking in behind Kansas City. They are the 5 seed. Both Baltimore and Pitt end up making it. It was a close call if either one of those teams were going to make it. So every division outside of the AFC South will have 2 teams. We knocked out our other 2 options in the Tennessee Titans and the Colts. We had our future in our hands, and we got the job done. But we'll have to continue to get that job done. And if we do, Oluokun might return in the Super Bowl. As for now, he will be out in the wild card, the divisional, and an AFC Conference Championship if we can keep this streak up. Now I say if, because we're not playing the AFC South anymore. These other teams, they're going to be a whole lot better. And as for the Chargers, they got Derwin James, Khalil Mack, Rashawn Slater, Justin Herbert, and that's just naming the guys who are 90 plus overall, Joey Bosa, Asante Samuel Jr. There are so many key players and good players that we're going to have to try to lock down. And if you want to see if we could do that, which I hope you do, especially if you've made it to this point of the video, hit that bell icon on the bottom right or scroll down at the sub button and definitely tap that bell icon as we are headed to the playoffs next week. This series every single Tuesday and Thursday. The Cardinal, don't want to spoil what happened in the previous episode, but if you didn't watch yesterday's videos, close your ears here because they too are headed to the playoffs. Playoffs from here on out, at least if all goes according to plan. We will be with the Cardinal in the playoffs tomorrow. Back with them again on Monday, and then the wild card against the Chargers. We will see you then, and we'll see how far this Jaguars team can go.